Let's call this meeting to order. City of North Kansas City, Missouri. Wrong one. No, yeah. Special council meeting amended July 2nd, 2019. A moment of silence. Any comments from the public?
Rich Gross, North Kansas City Business Council. And I just want to thank Pat and his staff for taking care of the trees, getting them all set up, and I'm sure soon to be taking them down and keeping them watered during this time. And the time they set them up was exactly when we had our storm of November, and they juggled that with the other projects they had. Just did a great job. Thanks a lot.
Anybody else? Okay. Consent agenda?
I move the consent agenda be approved as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 7.
Extension of contract services agreement for janitorial services.
Eric?
Thank you, sir. The city entered into a contract services agreement for janitorial services for the city buildings with Hygiene's janitorial service in May of 2017. It contains a provision that the city can extend the agreement for up to 2 additional one-year periods. Staff is satisfied with the services provided by Hygiene, so at this time, we just request a vote to indicate that we'd like to renew the contract, and then we'll give them the 90 days notice.
There's no increase in the
No,
contract price? Okay. And again, like Fred had mentioned before, it's a North Kansas City business. So glad that they're doing a good job for us.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 8.
North Kansas City YMCA capital expenditure kids zone opening. Resolution number 19-002.
Eric?
Thanks, sir. According to the facility operating and cooperative agreement between the city and the YMCA of Greater Kansas City, the city is responsible for any cost repair or replacement at the North Kansas City YMCA that is a capitalized asset expenditure, which is defined as an expenditure over $5,000 for which there's a useful life of at least 2 years. The YMCA submitted a request for approval of a capitalized asset expense to construct an opening between the 2 kids zone areas at the facility. The staff concurs with the Y's recommendation of Herner Construction as the lowest and best bid for this work. So they are asking for approval of an expenditure of $9,734 to create that opening. Gary Lynn with the YMCA is here if you have any questions about the proposal.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 9.
Budget amendment for purchase of police vehicle. Resolution number 19-003.
Eric?
Thank you, sir. I'll call on the police chief, Steve Beamer.
Thank you, sir. This has been a challenging budget cycle for us and police vehicles. As the council may recall, we learned that the Ford Police Interceptors that we originally intended to buy, where they'd stopped manufacturing the 2018, the 2019s were going to cost more. And along that same timeline, our commercial vehicle van was involved in a crash out on Riverboat Drive. So we came back to you for a budget amendment related to all those issues. Then back on the 23rd of November, one of our police vehicles was involved in a crash that totaled that vehicle. So now we are coming back to you to ask for an additional budget amount totaling $31,000 to allow us to obtain a replacement vehicle for the fleet and the changeover associated with that, obtaining that vehicle. And I do want to note that the other driver's insurance company is providing a settlement on that totaled vehicle that we believe is going to be approximately $23,500. We haven't seen that check yet, I don't believe, but when it comes, it will go back into the gaming fund. So the net impact is roughly $6,000.
Is that for the patrol car or the van?
That's for the patrol car. The van has already been ordered. You already did that budget amendment. That van has been ordered, and we are awaiting delivery on it.
Any
so-
insurance on that as far as coming back that you are aware?
The other driver wasn't insured.
Oh, okay, so that was an uninsured. And so you did answer my question. It's going to go back in the gaming fund, whatever comes back to us then.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Move to
So-
approve.
Second.
Rick's got a question.
You may, check into whoever makes bumper cars, maybe you should buy from them.
I'd like to smile at that, but it's a challenge to do it this particular year. It's been a tough year for us, and I'm sorry that we have to keep coming back to you like this, but it happens.
I still, in a way, laugh about it, even though it's not funny financially, but, the lady that hit the van said she couldn't afford insurance, but she was on her way into the casino.
Yeah.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 10,
Approval of purchase of police vehicle.
Eric?
Thank you. I'll call on Chief Beamer.
Now that you agree to give us the money, this authorizes the purchase of the vehicle, and it is done under the cooperative purchasing agreement with the Mid-America Regional Council.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Have we still got one of the old sedans?
Yes, sir. We've got one old Crown Vic that was one of the police K-9 vehicles, and we've held it in reserve so that if one of the frontline K-9 vehicles goes out for some reason, we can still transport the dog in it. When it's not being used as a K-9 vehicle, our school resource officer is using it at the school so that we've got a vehicle down there that clearly identifies a police presence at the school.
It's got a cage in the back of it.
It's got a cage in the back of it. We only use it for dogs, but there is a cage back there.
Okay. Number 11.
Sign ordinance amendments, reader boards. Bill number 7361, ordinance number 9158.
Eric?
Thank you. I'll call on the Community Development Director, Sarah Copeland.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. You might not think of it, but signs is one area in which our regulations often have a hard time keeping up with changes in technology and just the design of signage. And recently, we've been experiencing this with regards to reader board signs for drive-throughs, where we have more franchises that would like to go to digital signs or make changes in the sign design for their store that are not in compliance with our regulations for reader boards. And so we had a discussion about this at the last Planning Commission meeting, just to get some feedback from them on what they thought about reader boards, to put together a package of suggested changes to our sign ordinance with regards to reader boards for your consideration. So we're trying to address 4 main challenges that we're facing right now. One is that drive-through restaurants are requesting more reader board signs. We have more stores that are going to a double drive-through design. And we also have stores that are interested in putting up more than one sign so that they have a pre-order sign before you get to the ordering point where you see the main menu. We have in our existing regulations a cap of 50 cumulative square feet for all drive-through signage. And because there's not a lot of flexibility in corporate sign design, sometimes that 50 square feet is very challenging for stores to deal with. We have a setback requirement of 30 feet from the property line for reader boards to be erected. For narrow or irregularly shaped lots, that can be very challenging. Burger King has submitted to us a site plan with the reader board signs as close as 21 feet to the property line. That's a very narrow lot, and we're not sure they have any other options for meeting that 30-foot setback. And then digital signage is proliferating, and right now we don't allow fully digital signs of any type under our regulations. So we're proposing some changes that would allow us to be more flexible with reader board signs. And also, we think still preserve the purpose of the sign ordinance to preserve the character of the city, enhance our visual quality, ensure safety, and provide for effective communication by businesses. So the amendments that we're proposing to you tonight would allow no more than 2 reader board signs erected at each drive-in service location. So at each spot where you could order your food, there could be up to 1 or 2 signs. That the sign area, instead of having a 50-foot cumulative square foot area, signs should not exceed more than 32 square feet per sign. We would also do away with the conditional use permit option to have more signage than that in the Armour Road Sign District. We would allow 100% digital signs for reader board signs only, and that we would allow freestanding reader board signs at least 20 feet from any property line instead of 30. We would also then have some corresponding amendments in the section on digital signs in the sign ordinance that would exempt digital reader board signs from the restrictions on square footage that are in that section, but not allow any other exceptions. I would be happy to answer any questions you might have about this.
Well, I can definitely see where we want to keep up with the digital signs. And the reader board, that's like your pre-order board, like when you're at the drive-through reading the menu, and then you go up.
That would be the menu, and a pre-order would be a sign in advance of when you get to the spot where you're making your order.
That's what would be allowed under this ordinance here, then?
That would be allowed, yes, in the package of the rest of the changes.
Okay. And then the other question is on the setback, going to 20 feet instead of 30. Are we able to have any any ordinance or anything that we tell these people, yeah, you can have your signs closer to the road, but do we have any screening like bushes or shrubs that will screen it from the actual road itself? Or
so every time we review a site plan for any business, we do require them to provide landscaping and screening. That's not specific to the drive-through, but is for the entire development in general.
So you look
for
at it.
McDonald's, because that was a conditional use permit, you did require them to install additional landscaping as a condition of that approval.
Okay.
So they have specific landscaping that was approved as part of that conditional use permit.
Have you checked with other surrounding cities? Are they, how are we, our new rules, are we kind of in line with them, or?
This is one area where it's very difficult to compare our regulations to other cities because so many cities approve signs as part of a sign package or a master sign plan for a development that is reviewed by a planning commission, sometimes city councils, instead of having the kind of regulations we have where we issue permits over the counter. So we tried, but there are just not very many cities that do it this way.
I'm fine with the digital and the setback. I do have some reservations on the increased amount of reader boards, as well as increasing the overall square feet that would allow. I do think that hurts the aesthetics of the city as well as increases visual clutter. I do also have a question about the terms of drive-in. Everywhere it's referenced as drive-in. Is there not a difference between a drive-in and a drive-through and a drive-up? Or are we just splitting hairs at that point?
Can you point out to me one of the where you see drive-in?
Well, I say page 2 under the allowance. I'm not actually looking at the ordinance itself, but it says no more than 2 reader boards may be erected at each drive-in service location. I mean, I always think of a drive-in as like Sonic. I pull in, stop, reader board.
That's the way the ordinance has been written since before my time.
Drive-ins.
So possibly, the way we interpret that is each drive-in service location is where you drive up to the place where you're making your order.
Okay. I mean, I would.
That's been the language that we've used for quite some time.
Okay. I mean, I would prefer to continue to see that be 1 per service location. I don't know if anyone else.
Is the problem you mentioned with Burger King for their future spot?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Have we got a motion?
First, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance amending Chapter 15.44, Signs, Billboards, Awnings, and Street Clocks of the Code of the City of North Kansas City, Missouri regarding reader board signs.
I move that bill number 7361 be placed on second and final reading and pass as ordinance number 9158.
Second.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Clevenger.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Stewart.
Yes.
Councilmember Stefan.
Yes.
Councilmember Farr.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember DeLong.
No.
Councilmember Pierce.
Yes.
An ordinance amending Chapter 15.44, signs, billboards, awnings, and street clocks of the Code of the City of North Kansas City, Missouri regarding reader board signs.
Number 12.
Approving accounts due and payable by the city through December 27th, 2018. Bill number 7362, ordinance number 9159.
First reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance authorizing payment for certain accounts due and payable by the city through December 28th, 2018.
I move that bill number 7362 be placed on second and final reading and pass as ordinance number 9159.
Second.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Clevenger.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Stewart.
Yes.
Councilmember Stefan.
Yes.
Councilmember Farr.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember DeLong.
Yes.
Councilmember Pierce.
Yes.
An ordinance authorizing payment for certain accounts due and payable by the city through December 28th, 2018.
Mr. Eric.
Thank you, sir. I'll start by calling on the city clerk, Crystal Doss.
We have the meeting to go over the HERA's applications next Tuesday. I do not have the folders ready yet, but I'll get them ready this week and give you guys a call so you can know when to pick them up and have all the applications to review. And I'll do the little spreadsheet thing. we do.
So it's on Tuesday, the 8th, and not Wednesday, the 9th, then?
Yeah, it's Tuesday the 8th
Okay.
at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Oh, that's something else.
Thank you. Just a few items are in your packet. Our regular upcoming city items of note report. Also, our status of city projects and purchases report that we provide to you quarterly, just showing where we are on some of the major items of mainly capital nature that are in the budget. And the other report that's in your packet is the YMCA monthly financial report. I see Mr. Lynn is still here, so if you have any questions of him, I'm sure he'd be happy to answer them. The Y continues to do well. They are $11,666 short of breaking even this year. Mr. Lynn tells me he does not expect that they'll be able to break even for the year, but he does expect that they will have a deficit of less than $200,000 for the year. I did note in this report, by the way, just in case you might have forgotten since we've entered into the agreement, but the city did agree to provide a bonus to the YMCA if a one-time bonus if they have a deficit the first time they achieve a deficit of less than $200,000, so they will almost certainly be due for that, and then another one-time bonus if they do break even, and hopefully that will occur sometime in the future. So that concludes staff comments unless you have any questions.
So there's no, it's a $200,000 and a break even, there's no $100,000 limit?
No.
Okay.
They're just, those are the only, they had a deficit of less than $500,000
Right.
over the first year or so,
Mhm.
so that they received one-time bonus, and then these are the others that are in the agreement.
Okay.
So, thank you, sir.
Mr. Zansky, anything?
A couple of things. One of them was what Eric just said about the YMCA. I mean, they're looking, really good on their financials, and I think they're doing a good job. You know, a lot of people use that facility. So, another thing is I appreciated the update on the strategic plan. You know, I noticed something when we were trying to preserve and enhance the identity and uniqueness in North Kansas City, and then I see, these programs to deliver family-oriented programs, and all of them start off with through the Parks and Recreation Board or through the Library Board, and two hard-working boards, and, they do a great job for us. Parks and Rec has got 3 or 4 parks to take care of, and they do such a good job on all their events that they have, and the library does a great job on their events that they have as well. So, I think that's something that we've got a good head start on, and just keep up the momentum and support our Parks and Rec and support our library. So, Other than that, hope everybody had a good new year and hope 2019 brings us all good health and success.
Yeah, I too would like to recognize the Y for their, I mean, wow, I mean, they've saved the citizens of this city a lot of money. And you know what, I look over there in them parking lots, sometimes it's just full, you know, and I'm just real proud of them and glad to have them as partners. If you haven't seen the remodeling at the little store, you ought to stop in. I did today. They were closed all during the school vacation, which is a good time for them to be closed. And they remodeled in there, and it really has opened it up and made a lot more room for people to sit. So anyway, you might want, and I think they have breakfast every day now. They used to be just on the weekends, but I think, and of course, they always had the lunch. You know, I avoid that like the plague because of the school kids in there, but it's really nice looking. You know, it was, and I think it's in their time frame. You know, back in the 50s and 60s, the way it looks in there. So anyway, and hope everybody had a good New Year's. Everybody's here that I know, so he must have had a safe one.
Well, I just hope everyone had a good New Year's.
Glad everybody came through last year okay, because we're all here, and hopefully everybody will do just the same, and we'll go through this year with no wants and quorums and go on from there. Thank you.
I don't know. Have we all made it? Has anybody heard or seen from these two? Nobody? Oh. Nothing to add tonight.
I have nothing to add tonight either.
It's all been said. Okay, number 16.
Consideration of a request to hold in recess into an executive session as requested by the city administrator to be held on this date on a real estate matter pursuant to Missouri Revised Statutes, section 610.0212.
So moved.
Second.
Councilmember Clevenger?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Stewart?
Yes.
Councilmember Stefan?
Yes.
Councilmember Farr?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember DeLong?
Yes.
Councilmember Pierce?
Yes.